it can be pretty devastating.
Flash flood warnings in the state of Utah when the rain is coming and why the recent wildfires make it even more dangerous. Welcome to Newsline. It's October 2nd. I'm DANI HALLOWS.
And I'm Allison Caffrey.
Tropical storm ROSA continues to close in on the west coast, bringing torrential rains and major flooding.
The path of the storm means that even Utahns can see the severe weather. Katie Karras joins us a little earlier than usual today. Katie, the rain can mean bad news for people who live in areas affected by the wildfires.
Yes, it can. So usually rain is a good thing for our state, but with these flash flood warnings and our recent wildfires, the water as it comes down the hill will pick up debris and things. So that's what we're worried about is when those flash floods. And Hurricane Rosa is now a post-tropical cyclone, but today the storm made its way through northern Mexico, soaking areas with heavy rain. The storm is currently making its way through Baja California and is expected to hit southern Arizona later today. The green areas you see here on this map, including most of Arizona, Nevada, and yes, as you can see, most of Utah are currently under flood watch as the path of the storm continues to travel north, which means the wet weather Tuesday afternoon through most of the week here in Utah. The biggest concern with the flooding is potential debris flow from the recent burns, scars from the recent wildfires. I'll have a closer look at what areas are specifically impacted later.
Thanks, Katie. Families in Utah County, though, are now preparing for that flooding with the rain coming. The flood potential is great after wildfires destroyed the face of the mountain above their homes. Newsline reporter Madeline Reber joins us now. Madeline, these families avoided one natural disaster only to be faced with another.
That's right. Several weeks, the Pole Creek and Baldwin Mountain fires drove families away from their homes. Now they're doing everything they can to protect them from the floodwater.
Hundreds of volunteers came from all areas of Utah County to help fill sandbags and build walls of protection for homes being threatened by potential flooding.
All over. Springville, Mapleton, people from all over have been coming and helping. It's been really neat.
The Utah County fires burned more than 100,000 acres and left a large burn scar over the Elk Ridge and Woodland Hills neighborhoods. Utah County expects a lot of rain in the coming week. Families in the area have gone from fire watch to flood and mudslide watch.
We're going to get some mudslides, we're going to get water, we're going to get trees.
So neighborhoods are putting down sandbags to try and divert any water that may come rushing down the mountain. Volunteers shovel the sand into bags and then the bags are delivered to neighborhoods. Volunteers stack the sandbags at 2 feet, 3 feet, and those closest to the mountain at almost 4 feet high. Homes closest to the mouth of the canyon are considered high flood areas, and the National Guard has set barriers near those homes. Even though this area of the country has suffered a lot these past few weeks, many are finding comfort in their communities.
It's been really touching how much everyone's helped us.
I've got a new family of 300 people now. We've just all come together. It doesn't matter where we live, we're just helping, working together. It's been fun to associate with all and work together.
Most of the sandbags was donated by a Salem man. Since Saturday afternoon, more than 20 truckloads of sand have been taken to the neighborhoods. Back to you.
While Utah is recovering from wildfires this year, many people are educating themselves on how they can be ready for future fires. Christina Bolaños attended the Utah Prepare Conference to find out more about how we can be ready for those fires. Christina, what exactly were they saying at the conference?
A couple of the state's leaders shared tips on how to best prepare for a fire, such as having a plan and a disaster kit ready to go.
About a week ago, Utah County forced roughly 6,000 people to evacuate from their homes as a result of the Bald Mountain and Pole Creek wildfires. The incident took away many people's belongings and some their homes.
We've seen a lot of people having to evacuate their homes from these wildfires this year, probably more than ever before, in my opinion.
According to Wade, Utah has among the highest levels of personal preparedness in the nation. He says that it's in Utah's culture and that it is usually the Mormon church who teaches people to participate in many outdoor activities, which requires them to have survival supplies on hand.
Going down the ladder and him going out this door, and I don't know if that works.
Wade, when I asked a couple of preparedness instructors from the state what they thought in regards to how prepared people were for wildfires this year, I got the following answers.
I don't think anybody's ever prepared for fire.
It's a hard thing, you know. It's not something that you really expect to happen all the time.
People live in
a lot of people were not prepared.
This past weekend, Sandy had its annual Utah Prepare Conference and Exposition Fair. There, a few tips for how to best prepare for a fire were shared.
It is very important to have a disaster kit together.
Be ready to get out and get your family out if you've got family.
Knowing the protective actions, I think, is really most important.
As a result of the recent wildfires, Utah is expected to have heavy rain and flooding during the next few days. The following reminders were given to prepare for these.
Practicing how to evacuate your house. Turn around, don't drown for flooding. When thunder roars, go indoors for lightning. Knowing the protective actions, I think, is really most important.
For more information on fire prevention and general emergency preparedness, you can visit bereadyutah.gov. Back to you.
Thanks, Christina.
A 16-year-old boy is charged with more than a dozen charges of sexual assault. That's according to the Salt Lake Tribune. Sanpete County Police described the crimes as hazing gone too far. According to the Trib, police say the teen assaulted at least 9 boys on various sports teams at Gunnison Valley High School. The Trib says 2 other teens are under investigation, but only the charged teen had multiple victims. The highest penalty the charged teen could face is staying in a juvenile facility until age 21. He could face up to life in prison if prosecutors move the case to the adult system.
A Catholic priest is on leave after being charged for trying to pay for sex. Salt Lake City police charged 62-year-old Reverend Andre Skurgepiek with an A-class demeanor for soliciting a prostitute. Police say on September 24th, the pastor of the St. Ambrose Catholic Church propositioned an undercover police officer who was posing as a prostitute. The priest's attorney say his client is innocent and it's all a misunderstanding. He has been pastor at the St. Ambrose Parish since 2009. The pastor will be on leave for at least 3 months.
An Orem man is behind bars today after police say he cut off his roommate's ear. Orem police on Saturday found a fight between two roommates that broke out at their home. The argument started because the victim was singing too loudly. Police say 30-year-old Mackenzie Ulibarri stabbed the victim 20 times, cut off his ear, and fired 4 rounds from a gun. Ulibarri was arrested on first-degree felony, attempted homicide, and 13 other counts.
Cottonwood Heights police are looking for a male package thief. Take a look at these pictures. This is the man that police are looking for. Cops say James Jared Nelson has been stealing parcels off of people's porches. Police say he's a contract driver and he's been taking the packages during his downtime. He was last seen driving a Hertz rental car. If you've seen or you have any information about Nelson, please notify Cottonwood Heights police at 801-944-7100.
The Covey Center for the Arts hosted the 12th annual VIVACE concert last night, honoring young musical talent. Newsline reporter Hayden Wallace was there. Hayden, how old were the performers?
The musicians, who came from all over Utah, were only between 14 and 20 years old. They played complicated pieces from composers such as Bach, Handel, and Mendelssohn. The concert featured winners of the 2018 Young Artist Auditions held by Utah Symphony and the Utah Valley Symphony. These musicians have been playing their entire lives. Despite hard work and even up to 4 hours of practice a day, these musicians aren't daunted. They just love the music.
I mean, like, the whole just remembering when I was wanting to quit it at one point, I was like, no, there's no way that I could ever, because I just really, I just love music so much.
The purpose of the concert was not only to recognize musical talent, but to raise awareness of and support for the musical arts culture in Utah. The event was free for anyone who wanted to attend, thanks to the generosity of the Covey family, who sponsored the event themselves. Some of the upcoming events at the Covey Center for Arts are the play Angel Street, and towards the end of the month, the Utah Symphony will be performing. More information can be found on www.provo.org/community. Back to you.
It's been 1 year since the Las Vegas shooting, and we'll show you the victims and how they were honored on the Strip by survivors and strangers.
Amazon is blazing another business trail. The online retailer is raising its minimum wage. Find out just how much workers for the company are going to make and when it will go into effect.
And a harvest festival in Orem with a special guest. Find out who made a surprise appearance and what brought the crowd together.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday. Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
A devastating earthquake in Indonesia has already killed 1,200 people, and that death toll is expected to rise. These satellite images show Indonesian villages before and after the earthquake and tsunami hit. Homes, mosques, and even bridges were swept away. Rescuers are working hard to find and save people from the rubble that used to be their homes.
First Lady Melania Trump is in Africa right now. She's on her first international solo trip. She's in Ghana today and will visit Malawi, Kenya, and Egypt later in the week. During her visits over the next 5 days, the First Lady is expected to focus on healthcare and education. She will also promote her Be Best campaign while visiting children at local schools and hospitals.
Last night, lights on the Las Vegas Strip were dimmed to honor the victims of the Vegas shooting. An event was held to honor the victims of the 2017 shooting rampage. There was also a candlelight vigil where the names of each victim were read aloud. The massacre happened 1 year ago yesterday at the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. 58 people were killed and 851 others were injured.
Amazon announces it's raising its minimum wage to $15 an hour for all U.S. workers. Compare that to the federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour. The change applies to full-time, part-time, temporary, and seasonal workers. Amazon says the $15 minimum wage will benefit more than 250,000 Amazon employees and 100,000 seasonal workers. The hike takes effect November 1st.
The FBI is moving forward in the Brett Kavanaugh investigation. What investigators have found and the changes to the winter semester schedule at Harvard Law School.
What do corn mazes and fairies have in common? We've got the answer and how it's all tied to a Utah man.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
There are more questions than answers regarding the scope of the FBI investigation into Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh.
The White House says the FBI is not going to be limited in its investigation. Abby Phillip has more on the unfolding situation on the Hill.
The time for endless delay and obstruction has come to a close. Mr. President, we'll be voting this week.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell saying he will move forward with a vote on Judge Kavanaugh's confirmation, despite the White House allowing the FBI to expand its investigation into the nominee. His pledge coming amid backlash over the restricted probe.
We certainly want the FBI to do a real investigation. It does no good to have an investigation that just gives us more cover.
President Trump declaring that he supports a comprehensive probe with a couple of caveats.
My White House will do whatever the senators want. I'm open to whatever they want. The one thing I want is speed. The FBI should interview anybody that they want within reason.
CNN has learned that the FBI has spoken with 3 people who knew Kavanaugh in high school and Deborah Ramirez, who accused him of exposing himself to her in college, a claim he denies. But the extent that the FBI will delve further into Kavanaugh's past remains unclear. Meanwhile, Kavanaugh's college friends offering conflicting accounts of the nominee's past drinking habits. The White House releasing statements from 2 of Kavanaugh's friends who say they never saw Kavanaugh black out, an account contradicted by Chad Ludington, a former classmate.
I can unequivocally say that in denying the possibility that he ever blacked out from drinking, and in downplaying the degree and frequency of his drinking, Brett has not told the truth.
Ludington says he was present during an altercation involving Kavanaugh at a bar in 1985. According to the police report, an argument started between Kavanaugh and another man who said the nominee threw ice on him before Kavanaugh's friend hit him in the ear with a glass.
This investigation is affecting Kavanaugh's current employment. Students of Harvard Law School were informed on Monday that the Supreme Court nominee will no longer be teaching a class that he was scheduled to teach during winter term.
And we have all heard of Tinkerbell and the Tooth Fairy, but what about the Corn Fairy? Newsline reporter Ashley Young joins us. Ashley, what or who is this Corn Fairy?
Generation farmer Glenn Larson. For decades before he passed away, Larson worked his cornfields. He was known as the Corn Fairy because he would harvest all his crop and then sneakily deliver bags of extra corn to his neighbors. Now his posterity is running the corn maze and want his legacy of love and neighborly goodness to continue.
We're using it as a way to bring our family closer together, we hope, and share with people the miracle of agriculture.
Things to do, including a hail bale slide, a corn pit, and a mini petting zoo. On Friday and Saturday night, there's a separate corn maze for all who dare to attempt the haunted version. Glenn brought so much joy to the community, and now that joy lives on through his legacy. I'm Ashley Young. Back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. So a new edition of BYU's local newspaper is on stands right now.
That's right. We have Camille Baker, who's the editor-in-chief of the Universe, joining us now. Camille, one of the stories in the Universe this week is about a hurt BYU football player, right?
Yeah, so tight end Moroni Luluputatau received an ACL injury during the game against the Washington Huskies. It was originally announced as a knee sprain, which was sustained during the first half of the 35-7 loss at the hands of the Washington Huskies on September 29th. Luluputatau posted on Twitter about his injury. He said, "This game has changed my life and gave me opportunities I couldn't dream of having. It's also brought me to my knees and humbled me more times than I would have wished."
Sad when the Cougs are doing so well.
Yeah, that's sad. He sounds positive, though.
Yes,
doing well. I heard there's another story in there kind of about changes to General Conference.
Yeah, so this week's edition is our Conference Advance edition. So we talk a little bit about some of the changes that we've seen in the priesthood and women's session, how printing has affected the spreading of the gospel, updates to the suicide task force Elder Ronald A. Rasband of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles is on, how missionary schedules have changed, including others such as how Preach My Gospel has been updated, home and visiting teaching being replaced with ministering, policy changes allowing additional people to accompany individuals in bishop interviews, and online mission calls.
Sounds like Temple Square this weekend will be very busy with lots of conference goers.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us, Camille. We appreciate it. The second annual Harvest Festival promoting good health was held in Orem.
A Newsline reporter, Eliza Fellows, went to a Harvest Festival. Eliza, why was this event held yesterday?
Because October 1st is Good Health Day. The event encourages good eating habits, exercise, and even gave athletes an opportunity to improve their skills. Besides all the things promoting good health, the festival featured fun and games provided by various hospitals in the Orem Clinic Department. Food trucks, petting zoos, a free horse carousel, local food vendors, and a live band were all a part of the fun, along with some of Utah Valley University's best athletes, including the women's soccer team.
By being here and meeting all these different people, they've said how much they love it and how they want more to continue to do this event.
Lil Sebastian was this year's special guest at the festival. Lil Sebastian is a 32-inch mini horse that was featured in the TV series Parks and Recreation. A special performance of 5,000 Candles in the Wind was performed as a tribute to this year's special guest. next to you. People in Orem are already excited for next year's Orem Harvest Festival. For more information on the festival and good health day, visit intermountainhealthcare.org. Back to you, Allison.
Thanks, Eliza.
Okay, and then we're continuing our flood watch here, and if you can see, all of Utah is under this flood watch, and it will continue through tonight and through most of tomorrow as these rains move in from Hurricane Rosa. And taking a look down here at southern Utah, you'll want to be aware of slot canyons with this flood watch underway. And then up here around Salt Lake City and down and through Provo and Spanish Fork area, of course, those Bald Mountain fires and the Pole Creek fires affecting our flood watches with that debris coming down off the mountain. But let's take a look at our highs across the state. Everything, it's the warm before the storm, if you want to call it that. The 77 in Salt Lake City, and then Provo looking at a nice 80. So it is warmer temperatures throughout the state. Looking at Utah highs, and Utah lows, excuse me. It is cooler in Logan and in Salt Lake, about 61, and Provo about 60 as well. St. George still looking about 62. And let's turn back to St. George and look at our 5-day southern Utah forecast. Thunderstorms today and Wednesday. Moving into Thursday, we will begin to see that rain that we're talking about for the flood watch. You could see some scattered showers throughout the rest of the today, but then we will take a break moving into the next week. And then taking a look at your 5-day forecast, and we will be right back.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
BYU coach Kalani Sitake tweeted for a young boy battling cancer. Sitake tweeted on behalf of Mo, a young boy who is battling cancer and is in stage 4. He rallied hundreds of Cougar Nation fans who retweeted his message with the hashtag #MoveMountains4Mo. An initiative for Mo started with his family earlier this year. They sell t-shirts on GoFundMe to pay for his treatment and call the project Move Mountains for Mo. Kalani's tweet gathered the most attention since the project started back in May. Jazz move on to their next opponent after their win against the Perth Wildcats. The Toronto Raptors come to Salt Lake tonight to face off against the Utah Jazz. Both teams won their first game this last weekend. Jazz won their last matchup, though, only by 4 points. If history repeats itself, it will be a close game. The game will be tonight at 7 p.m. A Las Vegas woman claims soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo raped her. According to a lawsuit filed Friday in Las Vegas, Catherine Mayorga claims she was attacked by Ronaldo in 2009. The suit alleges that Ronaldo apologized after the assault, saying he was usually a gentleman. Mayorga says Ronaldo and his associates took advantage of her and made her sign a settlement and a non-disclosure agreement. According to her, she received $375,000 to keep quiet about the alleged incident. She wants to have the settlement and the agreement voided. Ronaldo appeared to dispute the claims in an Instagram live post on Friday, saying, quote, "What they say today, fake news." Surfer Maya Gabera set a new world record. She rode this 68-foot wave from troughed to crest back in January in Nazaré, Portugal. It earned her the Guinness World Record title for the largest wave surfed unlimited by a female. The feat also earned her the inaugural Women's XXL Biggest Wave Award. Both awards were announced in a special ceremony Monday. Chiefs won against the Broncos last night, and Patrick Mahomes showed off a little.
At the half. A well-managed drive by Case Keenum.
Mahomes managed to throw a left-handed pass to Tyreek Hill in their comeback drive against the Broncos. They were on 3rd and 5, and Mahomes scrambled to his left to avoid Von Miller. They gained 6 yards, the first down, and the win. Defensive back for the Chiefs, Eric Murray, managed to snatch the ball from Denver Broncos tight end Jeff Heuerman. Chiefs go on to face the Jaguars, the Broncos against the Jets, both this Sunday at 11 a.m. We'll be right back.
I don't remember how it started.
North of that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Have a great day.
Big week and in sports.
I'm a little nervous about the rain, but we've got exciting things.
Yeah. Well, I like the weather how it's been. It's been very autumn, cool, just relax. Really? Oh, on the mountains? Yeah, that makes sense. So we